Why is it that some brands have people sleeping out overnight to buy a product or service that they've never even tried before? Or better yet, why do some brands in the middle of a pandemic increase their attention while other people in their market are declining and going bust? For example, why in 2017, in the US gin market, the market was actually declining by 2.5% that year. But here comes British eccentric brand Hendrix. They were growing in the same market by 8.5% that year. Odd, isn't it? Isn't gin just gin? After working with brands for nearly 20 years, I pulled together a new, tantalizing and potentially cheeky methodology that I'm going to be sharing with you today. One, that when we use neuroscience, marketing, and the delicious missing ingredient of seduction can have phenomenal results. And it's why some people call me the brand seductologist. So what is this seduction word? It's hugely misunderstood. It comes from the Middle French meaning leading aside. And it wasn't until the 1500s that the word was actually sexualized. So, sorry to disappoint, we are not focusing on the sexualization today. Ah, that's what I'm hearing in your voices. There we go, yeah. We're going to be focusing actually on how to seduce as a brand. So other things to know about seduction. It resides in the gut level. It lives in your enteric brain. Seduction should also be a journey. It should not be a singular destination. But I think if we're honest, it can take work to seduce. Yeah, there's a couple of nods. Yeah, it can take work to seduce. And someone who knows a thing or two about the hard work of seduction is the legendary Venetian lover Casanova. The sweetest pleasures are those which are the hardest to be won. And the sweetest model I've kind of been teasing you about so far is called the AID model: attention, intrigue, desire, and experience. So let's get in. Attention. We're going to be using the zoom lens model as a basis. What this says, if you think about it, you can see the whole picture today, but everything is pixelated. In order to see me in crystal clear clarity, you've got to constrict your focus. And right now, you know if I haven't done it because you're looking somewhere else. So if I've constricted your focus to me, how do you do that as a brand with your existing customers? How do you constrict their focus so they're focusing on you and not hearing the noise in the world? Well, one way you can do it is with shock and awe. And a lady who you probably know who does shock and awe very well, but in a way that's slightly different than you realize, is Dita Von Teese. She says, I've always loved the idea of not being what people expected me to be. And this is the thing that people don't realize about Dita. She has to continue to challenge expectations because you can't shock and awe no matter what you're doing if people are expecting it. There's another thing to know about attention. We can't fake it. You know when you don't have someone's attention. You can feel it. You can read their micro expressions. You can feel it in your stomach. Now, for anybody here who's ever bought petrol station flowers, this is a lesson for you, okay? You go to a petrol station, you buy the flowers, you go home and you present them to her. Thanks. And you're like, what? I've got you flowers. It is not the same as going to a florist's. It is not the same as phoning up, picking the best flower that they love, giving a personalized message, and for them being hand-delivered. Whether it's people or brands, we can't fudge attention. The next act in the model is intrigue. And now with intrigue, I'm looking to arouse your curiosity, I'm looking to pique your interest, and I'm looking to tame you because that is my tonality as a person. Now you are looking to entertain and do all these things with your brand, in your tonality. Think about intrigue like the art of the tease in a burlesque show. It's as much about what isn't said than is said. It's as much about bringing your customers on a journey so they are intrigued and want to know what it is that you are saying. So how are you intriguing your existing customers right now? What do they want to know from you that you've never shared before? What behind-the-scenes things have you got? What is the magic of what you do that they are dying to know, but you don't currently tell them? How can you bring them in on that journey? Now, all of this behavior we call brand intrigue, and it links to what I call the great invitation. Now, the great invitation for the marketeers amongst us is the call to action, but it's a call to action with exclusivity. You've got to invite your audience to something that's exclusive, a secret club, a limited capacity newsletter. Whatever it might be, it needs to be exclusive, because here's the thing about humans. We hate it when we can't get to something. When everybody else is doing something and we want to know what it might be, we've got FOMO, the fear of missing out. So how can you use FOMO in your intrigue marketing? Now let's get a little bit spicy, shall we? Yes? Good, I saw some nods, I'm liking that. Let's talk about desire. What's desire? Desire is a feeling that is when you have an unsatisfied state. Desire is possibility. So desire happens before we get the thing that we think we want. Desire also doesn't just reside in the visual cortex. We use all of our senses when it comes to desire. And Prima brands know this, and they use all of the senses to invoke our desire to buying a product. Now, there are so many different ways that we can use desire. And an example I've got for you is, think of the last time you bought an online product. I'm not talking about a widget. I'm talking about last time you bought something online that you wanted to experience. It arrives. You notice the discreet label. You take it out of the outer box. You put it down. You open the lid. We've then got maybe a ribbon, so we've got a tactile response going on. Then the crinkly, so we've got audio, the crinkly tissue paper that you open. You might notice a scent coming out. That might be from the packaging, but it might also be from a scent pod that the brand has actually put in there because they want you to associate that scent with their brand. Then you have a card. It doesn't matter if it's a mass-marketed card, but you read it, so we have auditory. Then, you have your product. Now, all of this is an example of what we call unboxing. It's a tactic. We use it often, and actually it's a growing tactic so much that in the last 24 hours, 2.5 million people have used this as a hashtag on Instagram. So anybody who has a product, how are you using desire and experience in your product marketing? Now, another way that we can use scent in marketing is an example of the brand Subway. It is rumored I say, that when they are looking for a new store, they are specifically looking for one that can accommodate the vents from their baking ovens going out onto the street rather than into a recess. Why? We're walking along. The scent of freshly baked bread hits you. It triggers a latent memory, and not even of Subway, of any branded sandwich you've had that was warm in your lifetime. And you're thinking, ooh, you can imagine holding it. You imagine it up to your lips. The smell just before you take that first bite. You start salivating. And anyone who's just swallowed, yes, I'm not even got fresh bread with me right now, and you're already desiring a sandwich. And you go in and walk back in and buy another sandwich. Now we're talking about desire. So I'm going to be a little bit of a vixen because I am and I can, and I'm going to break my own rules. If you are on the fence about the impact of desire on action in your business, let me ask you this question. Have you ever had a sexual fantasy that's resulted in a physical reaction in your body? Oh, yes. That, my friend, is desire. So the next act is experience. And experience is very, very different from the other three. The first three are covered in marketing. But the experience is when you are in a relationship with a brand. Human to human or human to brand. You are in a relationship. And like many relationships, we want to feel seen. We want to feel heard. And we want to feel wanted. Let me take you on your imagination right now. If you went to a restaurant, you look at the menu. You activated your desire. You're thinking, I really fancy some stuff on this menu. It looks really nice. You look at the cocktails. Now we're lusting after one of the lovely cocktails and the beautiful wines that they've got. Fast forward, you go to the restaurant. Oh, it's just okay. What happens then? You sever your relationship with that brand because the desire and the experience did not match. They missed. They were out of alignment. I want to tell you about a brand who seduced me recently. I booked a hotel. Nothing that unique here. I got a confirmation email. Nothing that unique here. But what they did next to seduce me was brilliant. They sent me an email the day after. Hi, Laura. By the way, I like being called by name. Someone like, we're on a personal. I'm one-to-one. I'm liking this already. Hi, Laura. Thank you for your recent booking. We look forward to welcoming you back. In one word, the word back, they had just acknowledged that I was a repeat customer. I felt seen, I felt heard, but they weren't done. We noticed that last time you came, on the second night of your stay, You booked the Marina View table at our restaurant. We have checked and we have availability for exactly the same restaurant. Would you like us to go ahead and book that for you? And I'm nodding. I've got the whole dog finger. Yes, 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 I would. I'm like, they know me! But they're not done. We also noted, on the day of your arrival, you booked in for a ritual diamond massage. We have checked, and your masseuse Lucy can fit you in between 3 or 5. Please email back your preference. And as I'm like, they're like my hotel, they know me! I was so excited. What had they actually done? They had heard my preferences. They then reflected them back to me, and they seduced me willingly, and very happily, I will say, to up my spend before I'd even stepped foot on the property. Now, what they had done doesn't have to be for the world of luxury. We just need technology to capture your client's desires, and then you reflect them back to heighten the customer experience. I have a bit of a problem in that what I've been telling you so far, I've been saying that seduction should be a journey. It shouldn't be a destination. And what I've been showing you has a finite endpoint. It's a line. It has a destination. But what if we change this? We change this into a brand infinity loop. One that has amazing customer service, increases return on investment, and has, yes, orgasmic, I'm going to go there, orgasmic customer experiences at the center. Talking of all things orgasmic, I call this the brand pleasure dome. Too far? Okay, maybe. It's called the sweet spot of success. It's when you combine brand seductology and technology. These two are sexy, sexy bedfellows. Now, if we're talking about seduction, we need to talk about our truth as well. And seduction expert Robert Greene knows this. Seduction should never settle into a comfortable routine. So let me ask you, are you actively seducing your existing customers right now? Or are you to them a comfy pair of old slippers with a hole in it? Now, alas, my time is coming to an end today, so I can't share any more tips to how to implement seduction actually in your business and your marketing. Or has it? Am I going to leave you intrigued and seduced to finding out more? Thank you for your attention today.